But I have a roof over my head at various times. It changes frequently enough, but I don't have a home. A home is something that gives you refuge from the outside. A home is something where you know you have the same TV, the same sofa, the same bed, the same cooking utensils. It's a sense of consistency and peace. I only have 2 suitcases to my name right now of possessions that I own. And this is not the first time that's happened to me. The last time was in 2019 when I moved to Ukraine. I had visited a little before and I felt really comfortable here. And when the opportunity came up to do business in Ukraine, it felt sort of predestined, you know, sort of a natural change for me to make. So I had sold my house and given away all my possessions to friends and families and made the move out here with those same 2 suitcases that I'm with right now. So why do I bring this up? I bring it up because I think about traveling a lot. I don't know if anybody's actually ever been on the road sort of full time, you know, for a few years, not just a short period, but a couple of years. So you have to do a lot of planning and arranging and decide what countries you're going to visit. So as we know, when the war broke out, a lot of people made the decision to either stay, to leave, or to kind of do what I did, which was to do more of seasonal kind of visiting. And as you can see by the way I'm dressed, this is the season I prefer to be in Ukraine. But as I have to go through all of this planning all the time, I started thinking about free will in travel. Now, it seems a weird thing to think about. We kind of know what we want in a travel experience, but do we really have free will? So some very deep thinkers and neuroscientists out there believe we really don't have free will. Believe that everything is just set in motion, all of the atoms and chemical actions, etc., all are governed by the laws of physics, and that everything is sort of set in motion. And I never believed in this. I always thought that I was making a decision, but something that happened last year made me actually think about whether I am or not. So when I left last season, in the beginning of the fall, I had to go to Saudi Arabia to visit with a business colleague of mine coming from the US about a potential business venture there at Neom. And so I said, well, it would be good to base out of Cyprus for a little bit because I can stop in Cyprus first, go to Saudi Arabia. I had to fly through Egypt, stopped and saw the pyramids, and then came back to stay in Cyprus. And all that worked out good. Cyprus, fun, sea and surf, good food, perfect time to be there. But as with all people that are on the road traveling, you're under certain limits of how long you can stay in a place. So you're always thinking of what is the next big move afterwards. So with me, it was 2 potential options. There was Australia. I had a Ukrainian family that I knew very well that I had met in Turkey, and they were in Brisbane, so I could go see the Great Barrier Reef over there, and I thought maybe I'd stop in Vietnam along the way too, kind of break up the flight. And then the other option was Italy and Spain. So an American friend of mine that lives in Ukraine was going down for the holidays to visit in Italy, and in Spain, down in Tenerife, my good friend, longtime friend from college, was coming to visit. So they first of all seemed like equally balanced decisions. I had company in both places. There were both places I hadn't been to before. And I felt like, okay, I'll just think this through a little bit and make a decision. They seemed totally equal though, and I just kind of felt like this pendulum walking back and forth that I was doing for like really over a month. And I'll be honest with you, I still have no knowledge now of how I made the decision to do Italy and Spain. It just sort of happened. So it got me thinking about it. Did I really decide, or was this predestined? And I said, if that's really true, maybe there's other laws of physics that are governing how we travel. Maybe there's sort of these laws of planetary motion similar to us here, where one body attracts another body. A large mass attracts a smaller mass. And maybe I was really orbiting around Ukraine throughout all of this, and that's actually what made me make that decision. Because when you think about it, if I had gone the other way, I would have broken that orbit, and who knows what would have happened at that point. There was no natural gravitational force pulling me back in. I could have ended up on the Fiji Islands, or in South America, or in Antarctica even. You know, totally lost like a falling star drifting towards nowhere. So, is this all overthinking the situation, or is there really something to this? Because as I go through and plan the next phases, I'm like, is it already pre-done? And I should just wait for the experience to happen to me. And am I just overstressing doing all this travel planning going forward? So, why do I bring all this up? I want to ask somebody else, am I really gotten onto something very deep over here that I should continue to research? Or have I totally lost it and had too much time on my hand thinking about this stuff? So